Hello there! Yay, a stream on time. A stream on time. A stream on Saturday. When I said that we're not going to be in the streams on Saturday. Well, I had to do a tier list. Why? Because I saw the tier list of exclusive A's. And while I agree in some Call of Duties, yeah, well you get to know now my tiers. So, on that perspective, let's just start with the tiers because well, tier list, not tier list. Because in a sense of way, there's some tier list. Uh, okay, enough jokes. Let's just go right to it. Let's just go right to it because we actually need to do this tier list. And I have the page that he linked, you know, and well, the first three Call of Duties, like I've said in the past, I haven't played it per se. I've watched them more so because when I tried to download it to the computer, just couldn't run. The one that I tried to play on the Xbox 360 that was Call of Duty 2, I think. It wasn't the disc. I think it was damaged or something. Because so that ones are not going to be in the tier list. But let's start right where every Call of Duty fan has started from this new, well, not new era, but let's say adult era, because grandpas are going to be grandpas with the three first ones. So Call of Duty 4, the beginning of everything. Everyone puts it or S tier or A tier. For me, it's going to be an A tier. It was my introduction to actually Call of Duty. It was my introduction to the modern series, also. Duh. Uh, but more so the fact of this thing of soldiers, because at the time I was with Halo. Before Halo, I was with space combat simulators. So, yeah. Uh, Very odd turning on that one. Although not so much because I had the F-15 Jane simulator, so not so much a part on modern things, but more so guided towards aircraft. Um, Pretty decent Call of Duty campaign wise, multiplayer wise. From what it was like the modernized type, you can add attachment to your gun, you can have perks, you can have a lethal, a tactical. Well, just a lethal. It was only a frag, but you can change your tacticals from stun to flash to smoke. It was pretty all overall good. I had a very good time. Even though I sucked, I think my KD ratio was 0.2, 0.1. For me, getting a kill streak of 3, it was so hard at that time because I was just starting. And it was all new to me, so I had to learn from there to actually just carry on. Obviously, no third game mode, but it was pretty good, pretty decent, pretty decent. So we go into. Where are you? Call of Duty World at War. It's gonna be A tier for me, all overall encompassing. I know that the tier list that I'm referring to exclusive Ace is multiplayer, but I'm encompassing everything over here because the multi, although the multiplayer is very important for the life cycle of the game, but if the campaign wise doesn't manage to capture you or get you familiar with the weaponry that you're managing for the multiplayer, then you're not going to be spending that much time in multiplayer with it, even though you have your buddies. So, very, very great campaign, World War II wise, very well done. Cinematography, the cutscenes, even the cutscenes that you have while you're playing, you know, pretty well done. Like they knew what to do. Multiplayer wise, I didn't spend much time on multiplayer, to be honest, on this one. much time referring. I had like 2 months just, but it was like from sunset to sundown playing, and then I just stopped because I heard Modern Warfare 2 was coming. Plus, I had other things on life. So, but I did dedicate it enough time to actually know that the multiplayer was fun. That even though there were some unrealistic attachments for World War II weapons, but they still maintained that, you know, the aesthetic of it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can accept it. Just one or two attachments uh, that can be realistic for the time being. Uh, so it was just all overall good, even though I mostly run my guns without attachments, just to maintain realism, yeah, in a sense of way. So, and zombies, I didn't play much zombies in this one. The one that I saw play a lot was my brother, and he got hooked up with Treyarch zombies, survival and everything. When the new maps came, he was playing with his buddies, zombies. He didn't dedicate too much to multiplayer campaign, even though he liked it. But hey, zombies. Um, and then we go to the Call of Duty that everybody holds in high regard, and I do. Modern Warfare 2. And Modern Warfare 2, yes, for me it is S tier. It's the Call of Duty that actually introduced me to the clans that were in Call of Duty, and not only clans but also gaming groups. Uh, mine one, mine was KSI. I can't remember if it was KSI United or KSI Global. At the time, they were like merging again. Uh, Long history with that one. I don't know if someone has made a video about them, about their history, because it's like they divide, they unite, they divide. Last time I heard they were staying divided. So um, overall campaign, poof, like you're watching a Michael Bay movie. Um, a good one, not a lousy one. Multiplayer, two attachments. Obviously, there were some aspects that were broken, but everything felt very good. You had a very good time. Yes, it had its lows, but lows. But those highs that it had were so high that somehow you compensated. And obviously, we come to the part that it is trash talk. Those, oh, if you never played OG Modern Warfare 2, then you don't know how to be a man and all that. The in a sense of way, yes, it had some toxic chatter, but what game doesn't? What multiplayer game doesn't have toxic chatter? So, but over here, this was the game that actually many of us played just to cope with the realities of what was happening. The depression, what happened in your life, in your day to day life. So, and then came a game that many didn't expect it, but to take that type of turn, Call of Duty Black Ops. Now I'm ranking it A tier because I don't have it as high esteem as Modern Warfare 2. Because even though you can still carry two attachments, but it didn't allow me to actually use my combat setup that I had gotten used to in Modern Warfare 2 with the ACR. That was the grenade launcher and the ACOG, because I used to do mid to long range engagements with the ACR in hardcore, and sometimes in the state, the snipers camp. You need to get them out of their trenches, and that's the grenade launcher. So that was the reason that I carried that combo, and I couldn't carry that same combo on Black Ops. Although I got familiar with other weapons, other attachments, and everything, yet still, from my perspective of multiplayer game wise, I couldn't. go to my strengths. um, but overall, it was a good game. Campaign wise, out of the ballpark. Zombies, I played a lot of Kino, but because I never downloaded the DLCs, never got the DLCs for it, I never got the chance to play any other maps. Although my brother did, and from watching his experience, because we had to share that time still an Xbox, um, they were a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun. So no complaints on that one. Just never had the DLCs for it. For me. Um, so yeah, a very good Call of Duty. Keeping it up to scale with Modern Warfare 2. Then we go. Where are you? Here you are. For as much as I want to give Modern Warfare 3 an A tier or an S tier, I'm going to give it a B. And here's why. Campaign wise, okay, it's the closing things, the wrap up, very good one. Multiplayer, here's where we start to see some cracks in it. It's not only that they recycled, animations, it's the verticality that the maps had. And this is where Sledgehammers gets introduced to Call of Duty, because they're the ones that actually helped develop multiplayer. They were the ones that actually made all these maps and everything. Even though we have Dome, that it's very good one, but all the other ones, and if I'm being honest, in a sense of way, it's like even though everything looks the same for Terminal and Modern Warfare 3, it just felt odd. Something was off. I don't know what it was. It wasn't the weapons. It wasn't the perks. Something fell off in Terminal, and it was not the coloring pattern. It's not that they made it grayer. Something fell off. I don't know what they did, but they touched that map. So yeah, certain maps of Modern Warfare 3 just didn't feel like Call of Duty. Weapons were okay. They actually buffed the ACR, so even though you had stopping power back, I rarely use stopping power for the ACR. I either use lightweight or some other perk. Uh, so yeah, um, yeah, it was very good. Survival, even though we had Spec Ops from Modern Warfare 2, but adding survival, add a new layer, of fun, of replayability. I did spend time playing survival, uh, because there was a time that when I was in Houston, there was no internet, so I had to play survival with that. And since I couldn't connect, I was like, okay, I'll just play survival until we have internet. It took like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I could play multiplayer again. But what else? Good times, good times, still good times. Although you started to see uh, the direction that Call of Duty wanted to take, not only they wanted to be like a little bit gritty, more than they have, but more so on the multiplayer side. Like they wanted to expand not only the library, but what you can do to modify your weapon. That thing of adding two attachments, even though it wasn't Modern Warfare 2, but over here as a proficiency instead of a perk, it actually helped. So I started to see where it was going. Now we go to everyone's favorite, Black Ops 2. Now this is a trend. Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Ace tier. Second parts can actually thrive. Yeah, this was. I bought the Care Package edition of this. I remember I have it post in my old Facebook that hey, I bought the Care Package edition with the drone, with the two medals. I think I had the two medals over. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I have to look for them. Yeah, the two medals, the combat digital camo that they had. So, on that regards, it was a very good one. So, a very good campaign, a very good experience in multiplayer. Competitive wise, that I saw the tournaments. Wow, the things that you can do in multiplayer to modify your weapons. Up to three attachments, all perks, or just your knife and lethal tactical, but perks. It was like, yes, this is going to be the next step for Call of Duty multiplayer wise. It's done perfectly. It's balanced perfectly. The first DLC weapon was introduced in here, and the introduction of score streaks. Now I didn't get a lot of score streaks because I don't know. It just took me time to adapt too much to the score streak system that I sometimes went back to Modern Warfare 3 and I said, okay, 3 kills is a fucking UAV. That's simple. So yeah, on that sense, it was like that for me. So moving on, this is gonna be a little bit controversial for everyone, but I don't care because this Call of Duty. The reason I put it A tier, okay, campaign wise, let's make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, it's just over the top action with nonsensical things. Even though they have an Oscar writer writing the campaign with what else? Multiplayer. But the thing was, multiplayer wise, Ghost was going to the right direction that it needed to go. You got two attachments that don't cost on point. You had your set of perks that you can choose and build with your set of number of perks. If you wanted to add more to that points of the perks, you can actually discard your lethal, your tactical, your secondary, no issue, or even your primary, just run a knife. In order for you to have the amount of perks that you want, the customization of your soldier, even though they said, oh, well, you're introducing female soldiers, it's like, but you're introducing customization of your character. So you can customize your character what it wears, what gear, what headgear, and then you have obviously the monetization of certain characters from the Modern Warfare series, from the Ghosts. That was going to be a series, but ended up not being. The reason that I put it A tier is more so because a fondness of memory that I have with my buddies playing it, that we were separated. So yeah, this game helped me stay in touch with them a lot. Plus, I was on Dark Times, but the multiplayer aspect of it, the extinction, that it was a new twist to the third game mode. It wasn't zombies; it was something new. Even though you can see it was repetitive in a sense of way, but the thing of trying something new that actually worked, that actually gave you a level of difficulty throughout the life cycle of the game, of the third game mode. You were like, oh, and it has an interesting, compelling story. Even though they had to wrap it up because popularity and everything, so they had to close all this shit, close the story, and then in a note that you might say, I wish I could have seen more, or I wish they could have expanded it, but they couldn't because one, Neversoft was being closed. It's being assimilated to another studio by Raven. Uh, so on that sense, you were like, well, farewell to the third game mode that was in my way, and I think other people, it was a great success because it was something different. Yes, you cannot train the they're not aliens, cryptics. You cannot train the cryptics because they're thinkers, they're animals, they're not just dead bodies trying to catch you. It was something different, a different perspective. So yeah, I like it. So on that perspective, on what multiplayer had to offer, on what extension had to offer, it was great. Campaign, yeah. So I think, yeah, it boils down to the perspective of each one. Oh boy. Then we go to everybody's forgettable Call of Duty, and the one that actually started this down trend on it. You got G and H tier. Just realized. Oh, never played. So here we go. Never played. Never played and never played. Yeah, first three Call of Duties. We go to everybody's forgettable weapon. Well, forgettable Call of Duty, and for me, the most annoying fucking thing ever. Because it's the down spiral of Call of Duty, and it is Advanced Warfare. Let me see if I can. No. Oh, shit. What did I did? There we go. Oh, but I want to see if I can eradicate this fucking. Delete, bro. There we go. Sorry. So we can actually make the screen smaller for you to see. Better. Yeah, there we go. All right. F tier. Fuck you, Advanced Warfare and Sledgehammers. Because they were the ones that introduced loot boxes and the advanced movement. And it fucked up Call of Duty. It's like, there's this trend. Okay, 2025, Black Ops 2. Call of Duty Ghosts, yes, it's in the future, but it's messed up. But then you have a big fucking leap over here with the advanced movement, with loot boxes, with variants that, and I still don't understand why Exclusive Ace put it like in B or C tier. I would have put this one on D or F. Well, for me, F. Why? Number one, the concept of the campaign was great. The execution wise of it was a piece of shit. And I said it in the stream regarding the Advanced Warfare campaign. Can it be saved? Yes, but you have to rewrite a lot of shit, and all the nonsense that they have has to be different. Number two, multiplayer wise, you introduce variants and loot boxes, and they have a randomized way to actually get them. Like I said on that stream, it's like on my first loot box, I opened it and I got a purple weapon, a ball 27 purple. And that was level 1. And I was like, I just got one of the advanced weapons without playing multiplayer. That's how fucked up this is in the system. And the only way to actually get variants is through the fucking loot box. And even though you can grind and play and everything, but the introduction of several things of customizable for your character: gloves, head, exoskeleton, suit, boots, helmets, heads. Since everything was randomized, it made it so difficult to actually have a complete kit of it. So what ends up happening is that you get a lot of garbage, and then there's no system to actually, oh, I got a lot of repeats of this one. What do I do with this? Oh, well, you can just delete them, but there's no way to actually save them for another care package in order for you to actually get another sequence of loot boxes. What ends up happening? A lot of fucking YouTubers, T Martin, Ali A. I don't know how many times I watch Ali A try wasting his money trying to grab uh, fucking elite weapons or something like that. Uh, in the sense of where you got exclusive, you got espresso, chaos, that is Jimmy. Even exclusive in the sense of way. And he said in history, he's like, I have variants that I had that I've played, and I don't have all the variants on it. And you're like, these are the guys that introduced the bad things of Call of Duty. So yes, and even though the advanced movement, everyone was like, "Oh, the advanced movement," like, really, the advanced movement? That's not Call of Duty wise. I mean, I understand Titanfall was coming, but it wasn't necessary to introduce advanced movement in Call of Duty, not in the way they did it. So, who has to step in and fix the fucking thing? Treyarch. Sadly for me, Black Ops 3 was a C tier game. Let me explain. Even though the campaign was messed up and everything, and in the future, it introduced you how their advanced movement was fixed, you know, have delay time, like a cooldown system, the type of weapons that you're going to manage in multiplayer and everything. In a sense of way, how you're going to customize your character. It's only going to be head and it's going to be body, and that's it. Okay. The mechanics were introduced well in the campaign. Multiplayer wise, we go back to the loot boxes. We go back to it. There's no fixing of it. Oh, you got repeats. It's like, oh, we don't care. You got repeats. It's like, oh, we're just gonna showcase you. Oh, you got a repeat. That's it. Sorry. And zombies. I was not at that point. Zombies. I was just nah. Because once I started playing zombies, it just didn't feel like zombies again. It's like from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 3, zombies changed. Like something just wasn't there. And overall, the game could sustain itself and everything. Now we go to one of, if not hated, but just. Here's the thing that I'm putting in B. One, the difference between Black Ops 3 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and why they're why Infinite Warfare is in B and Black Ops 3 is on C, is the campaign. The campaign in Infinite Warfare, just play it. The only thing that doesn't make sense is the decision of not taking the I don't know, it's like a thing, like a radio ping that he has, like a chip, sending the signal to the prisoner that you have, and then taking it to a spot and destroying it in the spot. Blah. That's the only thing that doesn't make sense. Otherwise, the campaign pulls you to. It deserves a chance. I invite every Call of Duty player to just play the campaign of Infinite Warfare. Yes, it's in space. It has its memes, its jokes, and everything. Campaign-wise, was way better than Black Ops 3. Well, this is the moment that I realized Infinity Ward as a studio creating campaigns is like they know they messed up Ghost. But it's almost like here they said, we're sorry, we're giving you this campaign. It's very, very strong by its own. And you know what? I thank them for that because it was a very good campaign. Multiplayer obviously was a carbon copy from Black Ops 3, just in their style, in the style of Infinite Warfare on their universe. Because the trend was still going with the advanced movement. Still, it was, in the sense of way, very solid. it actually made more sense to have the jetpacks instead of the mechanical arms and feet uh, of mercenary soldiers. The mercenary groups that you had in multiplayer that were in a sense of way tied to the campaign, it made sense the story wise of it. The missions that you had with each of these mercenary groups tells you how they think, their philosophy, and why. Even the suits that you get by finishing in level 100, you're like, okay, yeah, it makes sense why they customize it like that and everything. So it was a very good one in that sense of way of making the multiplayer feel like it's part of the campaign. The third game mode, zombies. Well, they're spin on zombies. I think it felt a little bit better. Yes, it didn't make sense in a sense of way, but because it was like magical and everything, you're like, I might give it a pass. I might give it a pass. Oh boy. World War II. You deserve to be here. I wanted to give you the D tier World War II just because of the soundtrack that it has. Oh my god, I cannot get over the. If you're making a World War II game, the worst you can do is take out the greediness, the blood, the gore, the savagery that it was World War II. All of that happened in this game. It was the most stupidest of things ever a developer of a World War II game could have ever done. I don't give a shit that audiences don't like seeing blood or being this gruesome part of history. We don't care. We know World War II is gruesome. We know World War II wasn't nice. We know that every fucking nation did war crimes. It's just more so that we expose the war crimes of the defeated ones instead of the victors. Because, as Captain Price from the OG Modern Warfare said, history is written by the victor. And for Sledgehammers to put it all rainbow and colors and saying, oh, we were nice, and it was like, dude, no, you're missing the point. And the fact that the story felt familiar because it was like, it's like they watched Saving Private Ryan. It's like Sledgehammer sit down, watch Saving Private Ryan, and said, I like the movie, but I hate the blood, I hate seeing guts, I hate seeing blah, 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 blah. So let's make a game of it and take all those aspects that we don't like, but that's not World War II. But they name it World War II. So, multiplayer wise, holy shit. The only good thing that they had, which was in a sense of way the firing range for you to test your classes and have the 1v1 between your friends or your clan in the HQ. But here's the issue. Who the fuck wants to see your buddies' loot boxes opening? The stupidity of customization, the stupidity of how you organize classes, the stupidity of how you advance within multiplayer. Who the fuck thought a good idea to make it a mess? When everything was a fucking progression system. It's like they try to copy in sense where the mercenary groups from Infinite Warfare and put it into classes of, oh, you can choose shotgun, but you can only use shotguns in this class in order for you to actually advance in it. And it's like, no, that's not how it works and everything. It has to be different. It was all messed up. Weapons didn't sound like weapons. You couldn't climb on top of vehicles. You couldn't climb on top of ledges that you could see that you can climb, but no, because invisible barriers. In a sense of way, the the same with Infinite Warfare in some of the maps. But hey, let me just take a look. All right. So yeah, the mess that was World War II in a whole sense. Third game mode, I think they had like their version of zombies or something. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it. I don't know. It's just a lot of messed up things that you say. Just no. Just no. The fact that you have to collect pistol grips that you don't see because you're using them to hold the gun in order for you to do some shit. It's like, it's useless. If you add the animation of me actually watching the pistol grip, it's like, I understand, but it didn't have anything of that. And you cannot see it because even though it's set as like the same pistol grip look, and you're like, and they messed up what Infinity Ward fixed in multiplayer about the loot boxes. You know, if you got repeats, you get salvage. You collect enough salvage, you can go to the store and you can purchase that exact weapon bearing that you want. Here they come and mess it up again because, you gotta gather some pistol grips and then a contract, and then you have to see if it matches and everything, and in a certain amount of time, and maybe you don't have that time, and blah blah blah, and you can Anyway, I'm ranting. Another F game, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. When I heard Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was announced, I was like, okay, this is the beginning of the end for Treyarch. And you might be questioning yourself, why is the beginning of the end for Treyarch? Because they cannot separate themselves from the Black Ops franchise. Because they don't know how to create another game without the Black Ops franchise. So what it comes down to is, I understand creativity is hard, but the sense that we still have to remain like this advanced movement, but not so advanced. Try to boots on the ground. That's another thing that I despise of World War II is like the whole marketing campaign. Boots on the ground, boots on the ground, boots on the ground. It's like, bitch, do you understand what you're saying? Anyways, yet still the game was no campaign. Multiplayer and Blackout, even though it was different, but the weapons were laser beams. The worst loot box system ever implemented with them. Progression system that it just felt not rewarding for player enough. I didn't play zombies, but I understand that Black Ops 4 zombies were a little bit better than Black Ops 3. Okay. Yeah, just a lot of messed up things. And I think one of the things that I feel Treyarch, and we're going to discuss this with Cold War, is that I feel that these guys feel that if they don't do a Black Ops game anymore, that their game is not going to sell. No. It can sell. It's just, is the product right? Did you make a right campaign? Did you make the right multiplayer? Did you make the right third game mode? Doesn't have to be zombies. So in that regard, it's like, yeah, I'm starting to see the cracks with Treyarch. They cannot separate themselves from the Black Ops franchise. But then, in comes the savior, Modern Warfare 2019. Because up until this point, the last game that I purchased was Infinite Warfare when it came out. I rented with my brother World War II just to actually play the campaign and see what it's all about. And we both diagnosed it that it was like Rainbow and Candy's version of Saving Private Ryan. And multiplayer wasn't convincing for my brother, neither for me. So we stopped renting it like at the second month. And Black Ops 4, my stepbrother had it. I played a little bit with him and his account. I didn't like it. I asked for the campaign and he said, no, there's no campaign. I played a little bit of Blackout. It just felt like, no. So, yeah, I didn't like it. And I was going back and forth between in Call of Duty's Infinite Warfare and Ghost. And then I decided to actually bought Ghost Recon Wildlands. I had a blast with that game for the life cycle that it had. And then Modern Warfare 2019 came. Holy shit, I was so hyped. I wanted to buy the NOTS one, but over here in Mexico, they didn't allow it to buy the NOTS one. Oh man, I would have had my NOTS and just go on the night on it. But hey, I bought the next best version that they had. I had a blast with this game. The campaign, multiplayer, third game mode. Spec Ops was broken from the start. Here's the thing with Spec Ops and Modern Warfare 2019. About half of its, when we reach half its life cycle, Spec Ops worked. Spec Ops worked. It was functional. But it took half life cycle to actually fix the damn thing. So yeah, multiplayer. The way the Gunsmith was introduced, the way Gunsmith was managed, it was perfect because this was the direction that Call of Duty always wanted to go, but for some reason or another, couldn't branch out and do this. I don't know why. I don't know what it was, and if it has something to do with Activision, then I think it's because also within Treyarch and Infinity were trying to work it up and all that. It's like yes, we kind of try to manage a group that we were trying to do on it. Because if you look at Black Ops 3, you can add like 5 attachments and everything. But the thing is, it costs you on perks and costs you and other stuff. No, it doesn't cost you none. But it wasn't there. It just those 5 attachments. It just felt like it wasn't there. So for obvious reasons, it was like, yeah, there's something off. Even though they're futuristic weapons, something was off. But Modern Warfare 2019 did it perfectly with the weapon system because I can grab a naked M4 in Modern Warfare 2019 and I still feel competitive. It doesn't feel like a piece of shit. I can grab an MP5, an MP7, any weapon in its base form, and I still feel that I can compete. Yes, there's attachments that give you, damage range, bullet velocity, and everything. It gives you an edge, but I don't feel like a piece of trash when I have a naked gun, when I have to do those challenges. It just felt good. The guns felt like guns. The guns sounded like guns. The movement felt very real. In a sense of way, yeah, you can say a little bit campy because of the mounting system, but you gotta understand they're taking a realistic tone and and Infinity War on this perspective, Modern Warfare. Um, it was very good. And then, well, Warzone is not here. Warzone is its own game mode within Modern Warfare, and that just went on a whole new level. Everybody enjoyed it. Everybody was like, "Yeah, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty." The Modern Warfare series always brings its A game or S game. And then Okay, let's discuss this one because this is where everything is going to be. The next Call of Duty that was in line was supposed to be Sledgehammers. When about March, April of 2020, when the COVID was hitting on the world, we started to hear development issues on Sledgehammer's department. And you can understand, okay, COVID and everything, and all the community was like, well, you know what? We don't want to Call of Duty right now because we have this one, and you have introduced Warzone, and we're having a blast for Warzone. So just keep pumping content for Warzone in order for us to have an entertainment thing. And what ends up happening is that they're still pushing Call of Duty. But then instead of actually having the time to develop Call of Duty, it's like, okay, you know what, Sledgehammers, you're having issues. We're going to trade you spots with Treyarch. And Treyarch had to move itself quickly with what they can do. And so we had the hybrid engine. I can't. Let's just put it here. B tier. It's not A, it's not S. It's very good. The game overall is very good, but here's the thing. Because of pushing of times and everything, the campaign, even though it was a carbon copy of the first one in the sense of way, just backwards, what you have is so many missed opportunities for Cold War to actually explore and explain a lot of stuff in the Black Ops universe, in the Cold War era that they're putting in the 80s, before Black Ops 285 shenanigans that happens with Woods and Mason. Multiplayer wise, they try to do the gunsmith system the best that they could. Yet still, it felt like some missed opportunities here and there to actually properly not explain, but more so adequate the assets. How not the grinding, but more so the balancing and type of weaponries that you have in the Cold War. Every experimental rifle, also experimental rounds in a sense of way. On that regard, zombies. To be honest, I think was the best zombies experience ever. Cold War one, because of the outbreak and everything, and I think they should have remained like on that vein. That if they wanted to make a survival, they can make Treyarch can actually make a survival game of zombies for Call of Duty, but they have to actually make it in the right way. Like taking the blueprint from Outbreak and then just taking it to the next level. And that will be awesome. Man, oh man, we reached the Call of Duty that I hate. Let's get it out of the way. I hate it. There's nothing redeemable about Vanguard. Nothing. I don't know what Exclusive Phase is saying about redeemable. Why the game is actually broken in every way, and it's not Call of Duty in any Not even campaign, not even multiplayer, not even their fucking third game mode that is not even from them, it's from Treyarch, but still. The one clip that I keep playing over and over again, when everybody asks me about Vanguard, I put the one of Ackman explaining that he prefers to play Ghosts over Call of Duty Vanguard. That's how bad it is. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it because everything wrong that they did in World War II, in the game Call of Duty World War II that they did, everything wrong, and everyone that's saying, hey, this is rainbow and candy, there's no greediness, there's no gruesomeness, there's no nothing of World War II that we know from history, from videos, documentaries, the vets that left their statements. It's like, instead of actually paying attention, saying, oh, well, we're going to add this, and it's like they double down on the fucking rainbows and candies and dismantle what Call of Duty is really about. Campaign doesn't make fucking sense. Characters are uninteresting. In a sense of way, Arthur is not, because he's related to these characters and overall makes his character a piece of shit. There's no evolution for him, even though it showcased promise at the beginning, but then it's all goes to fucking shit. Multiplayer wise, it's broken because what is balancing? You have a shit ton number of scopes that are unrealistic. You have, for the time, you have attachments that are not from the fucking era, even though you have calibers from the era, but they were not specifically made for certain weapons. The M1 Garand doesn't sound like the M1 Garand. The Sturmgewehr doesn't sound like the Sturmgewehr. The boss saw doesn't sound like the boss saw. Doesn't feel like the boss saw. Oh shit! There's a lot of shit that Vanguard took from World War II, shit on it, put rainbows and candy on it, and said this is a good piece of shit. And it's like, that's not a good piece of shit. That's just garbage. And we end up with the Call of Duty that has nothing redeemable. And the moment that I heard that they were going to have like 10 attachments, I was like, from where they're getting 10 attachments? I could understand it for modern weapons. I could understand it in a sense of way for Cold War weapons. World War II weapons were not designed to be modified. If I handed you an M1 Garand at the time, it wasn't for you to, oh, but I want a scope, I want this, I want that. Like, no, you issue that because it was made for just one purpose. It wasn't made for customization in anything. It was just made to actually be that. The M1 Garand. When we start to see that after World War II, because this is historically accurate, after World War II, when we start seeing the combat is between 300 and 500 meters, we start to see that, oh, we need weapons that can actually have full auto capabilities, that can actually be modular in their sense of way of combat. That's when we start to explore that realm of modularity and full auto versions. Before that, there was nothing like it, and every gun that was made for one purpose only, and that's it. It wasn't made for customization or anything. It's after World War II that we actually strive to that mindset of, we have to be modular because we don't know what type of engagement we're going to have. We got to change calibers. We got to be able to adapt not only ourselves but our weapon systems to the environment that we're put in. And speaking briefly of the campaign, there's no reason for Polina to be with Western allies because Stalin didn't give a shit about his soldiers. Stalin never made promo. It was soldiers trying to promote soldiers within the newspaper in order to give valor and everything. But Stalin's message was, I don't need heroes. I need myself on the forefront of me actually beating Hitler. So, I don't know. It's just I made a video about me complaining about sledgehammers and how they fucked up Call of Duty because Activision fucked up Call of Duty through them, and they never opposed resistance. They never said no. And look at it right now. They don't. They were force feeding cells of Vanguard, and I think they're going to do it again before Modern Warfare 2 hits. Because even when Cold War was, in its life cycle, Modern Warfare 2019 never received a discount for you purchasing it. It still maintained its price. Why? Because Modern Warfare 2019 was so well made that it's still, I think it's still maintaining its price, if not most of it. So that tells you a lot. And hey, anyways, this is my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I went in big of a rant. No one on D tier for surprising amount of matter. Yeah, I think D. Yeah, I don't know about it, that one. But hey, okay, so we reached the end of the stream, and until June 8th, June 9th, I think I'm going to stream June 10th, just to be on the safe side of information. A few days rest. Am I going to do another one? Possibly in between, talking about a certain topic. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a stream. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a stream either Tuesday or Wednesday about the Monarch operation. Very good. Well, just some observations, the good, bad, and the ugly. Yeah. Anyways, have a great weekend. I hope you see Top Gun Maverick. I'm gonna watch it again today in a few hours. Very, very good movie. Very good movie. So yeah, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Take care of yourself, of your loved ones, and as always,